Introduction to World Religion and Belief System. Hinduism. Origins of Hinduism. Hinduism is the world's third largest religion. It has about 850 million followers. Most Hindus live in India, although the Indian diaspora has taken the religion around the globe. Sizable Hindu populations or number live in the United Kingdom, Canada, the US, East Africa, and on the island of Bali, Indonesia. Unlike most religion, Hinduism has no identifiable founder or starting point. There is no person, there is no group that we can say that they founded this religion. The available evidence suggests it has developed out of one or more ancient indigenous religious systems in India, plus outside influences brought by invaders who call themselves Aryans or what we call noble ones. Uh, Presumably, they entered India from what is now Iran about 1500 BC. Even within India, the religion exhibits tremendous variety. In some ways, the label Hinduism is a convenient Western term. It is not a term coming from the Indians itself, but a term used by the Western to describe, to define, or to label the religion. In some ways, but now it is adopted by India itself. For the great variety of Indian religious expression, Hinduism, the word Hinduism, has been adopted and accepted by the Indians. Hinduism also gave birth to three additional religions, the Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. Religious expression is influenced not only by the underlying belief system, but also by the culture in which it develops. This is most clearly seen in comparing faiths that began in the Middle East, like Judaism, Zoroastrianism, Christianity, Islam, and the Baha'i religion, which are all monotheistic, with those that began in India, like Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism, which are, with the exception of Sikhism, most of them are polytheistic or agnostic. Again, religions that began in India are somewhat polytheistic in nature or agnostic. And far more, they are contemplative. And what are those religions? As I said earlier, these are the Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism. With Sikhism, against as the exception, the monotheistic faiths believe humans live once and are judged by God after death. The others believe in reincarnation, giving humans multiple tries to improve the spiritual condition. So that is a very big difference between Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism. Because Sikhism believes in a monotheistic faith that humans live once and are judged by God after death. Unlike Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism, who believes in reincarnation. Hinduism is probably best known for its many gods and goddesses. It is represented by a huge variety of colorful statues. Sometimes Christians called it idols. But this is just the surface of Hindu worship. The core beliefs that underlie all the various Hindu expressions are karma and reincarnation. So, what is karma? Karma is often described as the law of cause and effect. What you sow by your deeds in this life, you will reap it in the next another life here on earth that is not an eternal state. Remember, monotheistic beliefs has the only belief about heaven or hell. It is not determined by a conscious personal God, but by an unconscious automatic process. One might say it's just the nature of the universe, the way things are. So if we reason that whatever happens to us, and we will say that that's the way things are, that's the universe work. That is a cause and effect. That is a law of cause and effect. That is a karma. So maybe right now we are considering the things that we are saying. That sometimes out of nowhere we are saying these things and we didn't know that this is a karma or this is a Hindu perspective. In the West, karma and reincarnation have become something of a trend, part of who they are. It's a fad. Recent polls show that nearly 40% of Americans believe in reincarnation, and discovering what one was in a past life has become a popular pastime. At a fortunate circumstance, a person will joke that they must have a good karma. Maybe in the afterlife, they will be having a good life, a fortunate life. Maybe in the past, they have a bad life. That is a concept of karma and reincarnation. That is a Hindu perspective or belief system. But in Hinduism, where the concepts come from, reincarnation is a curse to be escaped. Again, for Hinduism, the real meaning of karma and reincarnation, it is a curse to be escaped. And because karma is what keeps a person chained to the wheel of endless deaths and rebirths, all karma is bad. In short, the ultimate goal of a Hindu is to avoid all karma and achieve moksha. Moksha is the state of oneness with the ultimate reality. And who is that ultimate reality? That is Brahman. Brahman, though sometimes referred to as God, is impersonal, indefinable, unknowable, unmanifested, and without attributes. It's sometimes described as the sum of everything that exists. In Hindu belief, we are all Brahman. Again, in Hindu belief, we are all Brahman. But thinking we have our own individual identity keeps us on the reincarnation wheel. Only after we realize we are Brahman, for some Hindus would say we realize we are God, only after we realize we are Brahman do we escape another rebirth. This belief in one ultimate reality is called monism, which means all of reality is of one kind or nature. For Hindus, all reality is spiritual. The physical universe is just an illusion. Again, for Hindus, all reality is spiritual. The physical universe is just an illusion. Part of recognizing oneness with Brahman is recognizing that the physical body and the world are not real. Most religious beliefs both the spiritual or the metaphysical and the material or physical exist and are different from each other in important ways. The other monistic belief system, although not usually thought of as a religion, is a secular humanism, which holds that only the material universe exists. There is no spiritual reality. Hindus, by their own calculation, worship more than 330 million gods and goddesses. How does this fit with the monistic worldview? The average Indian villager knows nothing of monism. He or she worships local deities and accepts further reincarnation as inevitable. The hope is to have as little karma as possible so that the next time they might be born into a higher caste or class. The educated or philosophical Hindu explains this apparent discrepancy as all being part of the illusion. The myriad gods are just facets of Brahman. None represents all of reality. So Hinduism is both monistic and polytheistic. And in some rural areas, it continues also to retain some animistic beliefs and practices. Again, the current Hindu belief system did not develop through the teaching of one individual or an organized scriptural narrative with claims to having been revealed by God, unlike Christians, unlike Islam. The oldest Hindu scriptures, the Vedas, consist of four collections of ancient hymns, rituals, and chants written in an early form of Sanskrit. They probably were composed around 1500 BC and passed down orally for centuries, then put into written form more than 1,000 years later. That's how scholars are trying to presume. All we can learn of ancient Hindu beliefs about their gods is implied from the content of the hymns of praise to their deities. Many of the gods mentioned in the Vedas are no longer worshipped today. The last sections of each Veda are called the Upanishads, which are philosophical reflections on life that likely were added much later, while the Vedas clearly reflect polytheistic beliefs. The Upanishads are usually monistic in nature. Also important in Hindu literature are several epic poems. These tell stories much like folklore and so on that helps us understand ancient Indian life and religious beliefs and practices that shape the Hinduism as a religion. The most famous is the Bhagavad Gita, contained within a longer epic called Mahabharata. The great battle it describes has been dramatized for Indian television and remains popular year after year. It's like a soap opera. The Bhagavad Gita, in it, a king struggles with facing the horrors of war with his chariot driver Krishna, an incarnation of the god Vishnu, which tells him his dharma requires him to fight the enemy. Another is the Ramayana. Ramayana is another popular epic poem about Vishnu and his consort Lakshmi.